Why did Nicki Minaj have to add herself to Lil Wayne's Carter 6? What up, words? Your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps to CLBMG. Join the membership gang. Nicki Minaj dropped a freestyle. She dropped her own version of remix to Lil Wayne's Banned from NO. That was on the horrendous Carter 6, the universally panned Carter 6. And a lot of people stayed up to midnight to hear that album because there were a few weird pages on Twitter that were predicting, including academics, that Nicki Minaj and Drake was going to be on the Lil Wayne album, the Carter 6, that they had confirmed. They were using the word confirmed features on that album. And lo and behold, we got no features on that album. Now let's imagine, I'm here, I'm just going to be honest, I'm here to talk some shit because I don't know why she wasn't on there in the first place. There could be so many reasons why he didn't put his two biggest artists. This album was supposed to be his like victory lap for him responding to not being on the Super Bowl. This was supposed to be, yo, I got the muscle, I should have been dancing, I should have been on stage at the Super Bowl. You guys overlooked, you missed out, right? So this was supposed to be his shining moment. And why wouldn't you have your two biggest triumphs in the music industry, Nicki Minaj, and I'm sure he could have got a Drake feature had he asked. I, like many other people, think that him and Drake are doing awful. And what the funniest thing to me, on Twitter, that day before that album dropping, it was clear that he wasn't on there. Oh man, these Drake fans are like, so much for you K-bots that was saying Wayne had problems with Drake. They were circling statements. They were calling people out. They were retweeting people's stuff. Yeah, I thought Drake had a problem with Wayne. Ha ha ha. Said now what? He's on the album. They were having a blast gang at midnight. A lot of them posts got deleted. They was crickets. They was hurt. They was dismayed. They was all upset. It was like, yo, I can't believe this. A lot of hands over faces like, yo, what happened? Where's my GO.O.D? Da-da-da. And they was mad at Wayne, especially the Barbs. Oh, my God. They went on Wayne's page. They called him everything but a child of God. It was bad. It was embarrassing. It was sad. Wayne probably didn't see these niggas high as shit. So he don't know what they were saying, but they was calling him everything. And lo and behold, I'm just going to be honest. I don't use the word messy, but this is weird because what if this song, this verse, Nicki Minaj from Banned NO, what if she submitted this and he didn't use it? This is bad, gang. First of all, he should have used it because this would have made the album, probably would have notched the album up 15, 20% better just off this one verse because it's better than his voice all through the album, all over the place. He needed this, and he needed the Drake feature, and he needed to take some of the features off and put some other people on. I told you, I tried to get 7 songs out of the 19. I barely got 7, but if he could have used some, he could have shortened that thing down to 11 tracks, put a couple features on there. Y'all would have been like, it's a classic, right? No, this joint was one of the worst albums in the history of rap. But imagine if Nicki submitted this verse and he didn't use it. They are not in a good place because she dropped this herself. So that means she had to get the beat, or she already had it, right? I'm going to go on a limb because that would have meant she would have had to get the master track with his vocals and all that from somebody else. I'm sure DJs, here's the instrumental, they get the acapella, da-da-da. DJs get all this stuff to mix and da-da-da, fleet DJs and this and that. They get all this stuff so they can mix down, da-da-da. So maybe a DJ gave it to her, or maybe she already had it. And maybe she been turned this verse in, and maybe Wayne and them didn't use it for whatever reason, which is going to be a problem. She was one of his loudest supporters when he was passed up for the Super Bowl. She was right there on it. She was probably the only one out of the whole freaking Young Money that went and said something directly about this. She started getting out, of course, Jay-Z and da-da-da. So she of course, whatever. I don't know what happened with her and Jay-Z. Somebody got to explain that. Maybe it was that title thing. I don't know what it is, but she just got that problem with Jay-Z. She loved Beyonce, but she can't stand Jay-Z. Don't know what's going on. Every girl got a friend like that. Well, she loved me, but she hate my man. So I don't know what's going on with her and Jay-Z. But for whatever reason, she went at Jay-Z on this remix, alleged remix, and not a remix because to me, I feel like this joint been done. I feel like they did this and she rapping over the same beat. Da-da-da. I feel like he didn't use it. Maybe he didn't want to get outshined. Wayne low-key seemed like kind of selfish lately. Like he's kind of like about himself, and he knew that Nicki verse would be all they was talking about online. Let's just be honest. Now they talking about how trash the album is. If she would have been on there, it would have been something different that they could talk about, right? But I think he wanted to shine for himself. I don't know. I'm just assuming, but I don't think this song came out of nowhere. I think this song been ready. I think Wayne been had it and he just chose not to use it on some fucking, like, you know how people, they just using their power. You know what I'm saying? Using their power for evil. Like, I don't know. But I don't know what they got going on either. Maybe he feeling like, yo, I don't want her on here. Or maybe he thought the verse was trash, whatever. But let me read this article. Nicki Minaj was left off the original version of Lil Wayne's The Carter 6, but now she has her very own remix with band from N.O. For those of you that don't know, N.O. is New Orleans, right? Nicki Minaj is making some waves this morning as she dropped the remix to Lil Wayne's band from N.O. This is one of the more beloved songs on the Carter's 6, so it makes sense that Nicki would lend a verse to it. However, fans are dissecting the bars this morning, especially since there were a few shots thrown. For instance, in her verse, Nicki raps, "About the cop you slides, all you do is flip-flop. If I send a pic of Shannon, you ain't that sharp." So basically they're saying she's going at Shannon Sharp. It's just a bar. Y'all making a lot of this, but let me keep this moving. Overall, some fans are confused as to why Nicki Minaj will be taking a shot at Shannon Sharp. I don't know. It sounded like a play on words, like when Jay said, have playing football with your son, that people got mad. It's just a play on words, in my opinion. However, there is a very good reason for this. While talking to Twitter, the MC recalled when Shannon tweeted Nicki who as a supposed diss to her. She never forgot that and opted to get her revenge. Why did he say that? We need more context. Why was he saying Nicki who? That need to be examined. We need to know what the context was, right? Maybe it wasn't even about her. Could have been Nicki, somebody else, Nicki something. Who the hell knows what Nicki we talking about? Nicki who? Like maybe it wasn't even about her. Let me continue. Furthermore, she stated that she almost sent a stray at Chad Ochocinco since he's always with Sharp on Nightcap. In the end, she decided against it. So, Elsewhere in the song, Nicki takes a bit of a jab at Jay-Z and the NFL. This year's Super Bowl was in New Orleans, and many felt it was disrespectful to not have Lil Wayne as the halftime show. Instead, the honor went to Kendrick Lamar, which for many was a controversial decision. That would make sense as to why he pulled this off. That makes sense. If he doesn't want no drama and she comes with a verse dissing Jay-Z, dissing the NFL, Wayne is going to pull this. So now I just solved my own case. I think that she submitted this and Wayne was like, I'm not putting out an album where they dissing Jay-Z and dissing the NFL. That ain't going to make it. And he ain't going to ask her to rewrite it. He's just going to leave it off. Gang, I just really feel like I realized what just happened. This girl submitted a verse dissing Jay and the NFL, and Wayne was like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and hold that back. NFL, fire me some niggas and then call us. Nicki raps on the song. While she isn't naming Jay-Z directly, the association is clear. The fans are taking notice. That is a direct. NFL, fire some niggas and then call us. Yeah. Who we talking about? Yeah, that's a direct freaking diss at Jay-Z. That is 100%. It's not a subliminal. That is not like, who she talking about? She might be talking about him. She might be, no. This is dead ass. That's Jay-Z. It is certainly good to see Nicki Minaj active again and dropping verses. There was disappointment when the artist wasn't on the original version of the Carter 6. So to get this remix a few days later is certainly a welcome surprise. Hopefully we hear more from these two very soon. Now that she dissing Jay-Z, you won't hear nothing. You ain't gonna hear a goddamn thing. I'm just gonna be honest. This is egregious right now. Wayne is not trying to have that kind of smoke, but she put it out herself. Let me see what page she put this on. Let me see, because I see the remix right here. This on her own page. Because some of us, like myself, put this on. What? Why ain't put this on his own page? This plot getting thicker, gang. Wayne put this on his own page. This is wild, gang. This is wild. I'm learning in real time that this is weird. Why would you not? So let me... So what, she made it after the album? Okay, this is more questions. Why did she only hear it after the album dropped and everybody else heard it? Why is this verse being released on Lil Wayne's own page after the album was called the worst album ever? Now you're releasing this thing a couple days later. What's going on? When did she submit this? When? Why? Why would you? And why would you post it like, okay, it's nothing. It's the remix. All right, sure. What I'm saying is this. You two know each other for a long time. Why are you getting a remix from Nicki Minaj when you should have had her on the album like everybody else wanted it? No one asking for a remix now, gang. It's too late. To me, it's too little too late. You show me respect by putting me on the album. Don't get a remix of me and throw it up on your page. This is weird. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm looking at the comments and the barbs are loving this and they going da. Let's go. I'm sure they're deleting comments because I'm sure if any barb like myself, if I'm a barb, right? I'm not a barb. But if I was a barb, I'd be in the comments like, why you ain't put this on the album, Wayne? And if Wayne come back and say she didn't have this verse until the album dropped, well then why you ain't get me before the album dropped, Wayne? It's mad questions. I'm just gonna be honest. They don't make no sense to me. None of this is making sense to me. But I don't know everything, yo. This is for them to just decide and figure out. I'm out of here, man. I don't even care no more. Listen, CLBMG, get on over there. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Make sure you get some. They deliver all over the continental U.S. Let them know who sent you. That's black. Put a dash in the middle. Then yeti.com. All right. Also, every Wednesday night we go live. Make sure you tap in. We get a lot of people in the comments. Make sure you one of them. Let us know what you think. All right. We got 8 channels on my Challz Brown YouTube page. We always having a good time. We talk about sports, hip hop, movies, old school stuff. We always hitting something that's, you know what I'm saying, interesting. So make sure you tune in. All right. I'm going to catch you on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.